In the previous videos, we took a look at some of the supporting features, if you will, to allow an AI identity to have proper governance and allow it to have temporary access to certain privileges. Now, there's another half to this. In the very first video, I showed the on behalf of feature, which allows an AI identity to take an action on behalf of another identity. In that case, it was configured for mine. Well, how do you actually control the scope of where that agent can assume my identity? Well, that's in the access profile. So if I go back to one of these Snowflake profiles, for example, I can see this impersonation settings. In this particular profile, it is enabled. Of course, I turn off if needed, but what this really allows is it says an identity that has the ability to act on behalf of another identity is allowed to do so for this specific profile, which means for the reader access in this case, it can be impersonated. I could, of course, not turn this feature on for something like an administrative feature if I don't want impersonation to be available. Now we're going to see how this is actually really useful and very powerful in practice with this MCP example here. So a few more things to look at. I'm going to flip over to another view. This is the same Brightov instance. This is just the end user view. So this is me logged in with my Matt Wilson account. And I have Snowflake where I am logged in with my Snowflake user. I don't have any privileges right now. You can see that I only have these two sample test databases. And that's all I've got. And then if I look at my roles, the only role that I have is this public role. So I really don't have much that I can do right now. So we're going to come over here now to the Claude desktop utility. So this is an MCP client. I have it connected to the Brightov MCP server. So this is something that Brightov also has released, as well as the publicly available Snowflake MCP server. So I can now start asking you to do basic things like list my Snowflake databases. And because it is able to take some of these actions on my behalf, it will use my Snowflake access to say, okay, this is what I've got. Now, of course, all I had was that sample data from over here, so there's not really anything all that interesting. Now, I can ask it to get a little bit more. So I know I have access to more information. So I have this customer data access profile, which is a different database. So I can tell it, go look in that table and count the number of customer records and check out more access if needed. Now, this is a hint essentially to the model. Since this is a new chat, it hasn't done this before, and it will tend to learn over time from the context. But basically what it's going to try is it's going to go over to Brightov using our MCP server and ask for that access. I'm going to allow it. I have it set to just do that prompt every time. So it's a little human in the loop, right? So the LLM is not getting access without my say so, or at least my knowledge. And it actually figured it out. So if you saw over there, there was a pop-up, and now the checkout action has actually occurred. So all by itself, it has checked out this profile that was my access, and it's able to find the customer table. So if I go back over into Snowflake and refresh this, you'll see that I now have access to this customer data table that I did not before. And in fact, my public role has now been extended to this customer data access role. And so that's really powerful because it is scoped specifically to my permissions, and the agent was acting on my behalf without really its own set of privileges to this. So it's really just limited to what I have. And of course, Brightov is going to revoke this access after the predetermined period of time. This policy said it was about 30 minutes. But I can also tell the LLM when I'm done, I can just say, all done. And it should use the MCP tools to figure out that this means that it should go ahead and check in. And good, it got it. It's checking in the access. Again, this is a new tool. I'm not allowing always for now. I just want to let it prompt me every time. And then we should see over on this side, it's going to check the access back in. And that's going to have removed all access from the model with my profile. And then my profile is also back to 0 at this point. So we reverted to 0 standing privileges, just like we like to encourage for every single identity type and every system, because we feel like that's the safest way from an identity security perspective. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this overview of some of the exciting new features from the agentic identity security platform capabilities that Brightv has added. And we look forward to seeing all of the use cases that this can secure in your environment.